which he was betrayed, had picked up a sword and cut off the ear of a temple guard who had come to arrest his Lord. Christ's rebuke was just this: "Put up again thy sword unto his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword." This warning by Christ, perhaps more than any other man, came to fruition in the life of Tony the Ant Spilotro. From small-time burglar, Tony Spilotro, who stood only 5 feet 2 inches tall, became a made member in the Chicago outfit and the terror of Las Vegas in the 1970s and 80s. His life and death were portrayed in the Hollywood blockbuster film Casino, which starred Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, and Joe Pesci, whose character, Nicky Santoro, was the reflection of Anthony Spilotro. Spilotro's fame as a mob enforcer was made in 1962 in what was to become known as the M&M murders. William McCarthy and James Miragalia had executed 2 brothers who were connected to the Chicago outfit, along with an innocent bystander. Spilotro caught up with McCarthy first and demanded to know who was with him when the Scalvo brothers were gunned down. McCarthy refused to give up his partner. In order to get McCarthy to talk, Spilotro had his head put in a vise, applying pressure until one of his eyes popped out. It should be noted that Spilotro was tried for this crime, but was found not guilty. Frank Collada, a friend of Spilotro since childhood, was the chief witness against him. Tony Spilotro was born May 19, 1938, in Chicago, Illinois. He became a made man in 1963. Joseph Iupo, mob boss of Chicago, sent Spilotro to Las Vegas in 1971 to replace their former representative, Marshall Cafano. The Chicago outfit owned interest in numerous Vegas casinos, including the popular Stardust, and Chicago felt their interest would be well protected by the enforcer Spilotro. Another boyhood pal of Spilotro's, Frank Lefty Rosenthal, was tapped to secretly run the Stardust Hotel and make sure everything ran smoothly. Millions of dollars was skimmed from the casino before it could be counted and was sent back to the bosses. All went well until 1976, when authorities discovered that Rosenthal was secretly running the casino without a Nevada gaming license. They held a hearing to determine his legal ability to obtain one. Rosenthal was quickly denied a license because of his unsavory reputation as an organized crime associate, particularly because of his boyhood friendship with the Chicago hitman Anthony Spilotro. Going beyond his mandate given to him by the bosses of Chicago, upon arriving in Vegas, Spilotro started demanding a street tax from those engaged in illegal activities, and due to his fierce reputation, the tax was paid. Under the alias Tony Stewart, Spilotro also took over a gift shop at the Circus Circus Hotel and Casino. Also in 1976, the Ant opened his jewelry and electronics store, the Gold Rush, in partnership with his brother Michael and Chicago bookmaker Herbert Fat Herbie Blitzstein. In 1977, Spilotro's role as enforcer was hampered after the arrests of Oladina, Jimmy the Weasel, Fratiano. After Fratiano learned of a contract on his life, he became a government informant and testified against Spilotro. As the revelation of Spilotro's involvement in organized crime came to life, the Nevada Gaming Commission officially blacklisted the Ant, preventing him from setting foot in any casino in the state. This didn't stop Spilotro from making a living. He rounded up a group of expert thieves known as the Hole-in-the-Wall Gang and began conducting widespread burglaries in and around Las Vegas. According to the bosses, this was not good business. They wanted Vegas to be untouched by mob activity. After all, they reasoned, they were already robbing folks at the casino, and they wanted Vegas to be perceived as a vacation spot. The final nail in the coffin, so to speak, for Spilotro and his associates came on July 4th, 1981. The Hole in the Wall gang had planned a big robbery for Bertha's gifts and home furnishings, which they believed would garner at least $1 million in profit.